everybody. Welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast, episode 40. We are officially over the hill. 40 episodes. We're feeling old. My name is Travis Smith, and I have had a 40-year-old back since maybe 2012. Joining me, as always, he's got one false hip and butterscotch in his pocket. Called him Geriatric Jared Erickson. Jared, how you doing?
Well, I'm just glad that we're back up to full strength now, and we have our fearless leader back at the helm. The two dirty boys, we're just raw dogging the podcast last 2 weeks, and
Holy moly.
we're glad that we have more professional edge now. So I'm sure the listener is glad to hear that strong professional leader back at the helm, welcoming them to the OGN. So it's good to be here, as always.
Thank you, Jared. And joining me, as always, he shook his fist at a cloud earlier. He might be catatonic. He might be curmudgeon-y. He's the one, the only, Clayton Gable. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing great. It's comforting having you back here. Jared and I had to be on edge the whole time when it's just me and Jared, because you never know where we might go. And I felt like I really couldn't relax because I was assuming some of your responsibilities. So it's good to have you back here to really steer the ship. And that the intro didn't disappoint. I can tell you've had a month to think about it. Those are beautiful. It's good. It's good to be back here with you, Travis.
So I came in ready to give you guys your flowers. I was so impressed. Episode 38, I was like, these guys have some je ne sais quoi. They are they have this rat-tat-tat, this repartee that cannot be matched. I'm just kind of the third wheel here, and you guys are really running things. And then I tune in to episode 39, and I just get slammed on the internet, okay? Not only in a podcast, okay, but you're putting my name out there on the internet. Didn't play any games, and not just me, but Rachel and baby Gwen got slammed as well. Slander. So whatever.
Rachel probably doesn't like us very much, does she?
Rachel saw that post on the internet and she said, "What the heck? We actually played games on this cruise." So
we wouldn't know. We didn't hear boo from you.
House Smith is worked up, and I would have been here last week, except for my co-host, dear listener, started a secret side conversation. Okay, we have a group chat where we plan all these podcasts, and they went third party. They had a separate chat going on where they were secretly plotting to host a podcast without me. So I would have been here, but they changed the date and the time just so I would not be. So. Boo-hoo. Episode
the great
40, here
leaders of this world have, the nuclear missile back channels, the red phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to hit up Clay on the red phone,
Jared and I thought we had mission command. We thought we understood the intent, and we didn't need to check in with the boss.
Distributed control, centralized command. Something else. There's a third one. I have graduated officially
decentralized execution.
That's the one.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Glad I learned something on staff. Speaking of higher headquarters and command, we do have a Frago coming next week. Fragmentation order coming next week. Listener, maybe you've heard us on other podcasts before, but next week we do have some special announcements going on, and make sure you tune in to episode 41 for that. But today, we are going to press our luck. Today, we're talking about press your luck, push your luck games. But before we do that, we're going to debrief our weeks. Then we'll hit the mission objective, and then we will go over the fence and talk about what we've been doing outside of board gaming. So, Jared, why don't you start? I'm really interested in this game. Debrief your week for me.
All right. Well, before I get to the one I'm actually going to debrief, my board gaming experience has really been popping off. The flight at professional military education, they have really been coming in strong lately. I've got a lot of people on board in rotation on Board Game Arena. Even of them signed up on a premium account. He states that his goal is to be in the top 10 for Americans, US of A, for Azul. So I don't know.
Whoa.
Wow.
Let's support him out there. I'll get his screen name.
Yeah.
That out there.
Yeah, that is a steep hill to climb.
That is a pretty big one, and I'm excited though because Azul is one of the World Series of board gaming games.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm definitely going to be iron sharpening iron there. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of so a lot of Azul getting to the table. I actually got Travis sent me the awesomest little travel Azul. Hit that one to the table yesterday, so that was awesome.
Nice.
But I have been playing Azul on BGA. I also, from the Travis special luxury box that I got, Terraforming Mars dice game.
Ooh.
That one hit the table, which
No.
I know I should probably be debriefing that one, but maybe I'll debrief it next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a load of fun. Played it with my girl Sarah. She went out and bought it yesterday.
No.
Yeah, she said she went and dropped her housewarming gift for herself, $300 on board games for herself when she gets to Italy.
Dang.
So,
Wow.
Dude, that is the best thing that can happen, in my opinion, when you play a game with somebody and then they buy it. That
yeah.
to me is like top tier. You've done it. Like you've made it as a game master.
yes.
I've had probably the best rate of investment since I've been here than I have any other place or any other board gaming experience I've had. Like every time I bring a game to a game night, the people I game with go out and buy that game.
That's great.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
We need to hop on this affiliate link program. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, I'll table that. So, but she did tell me this is what she said. She said yesterday, I bought Terraforming Mars Dice Edition because I play with her and a couple other people from the flight. Terraforming Mars on BGA, but she got the Dice Edition, Dice Miner, Ticket to Ride, Blockus,
Dang.
Wow.
Rebirth, and Azul. I mean,
Holy cow!
that's a pretty good lineup right there.
Yeah, you should be proud.
That shit.
Also, Jared,
Be
I
more proud.
love the mention of Blockus last week because I have very fond memories of playing Blockus. That was like one of the very first board games that I ever played with some of my family. One of my cousins got it for like Christmas or something.
Yeah.
And you were talking about like going tip to tip and like
Yes.
those blocking and like positioning. Man, that game is so good. And it's deceptively simple. You're playing with like basically just the Tetris shapes, the tetrominoes. And man, it is so strategic and simple. And the colors and that and the little clickety clackety plastic tiles feel nice. Oh yeah. Blockus is great.
And you just sit there and scheme the whole time, and it's great. My OCD, I ended up lining up all the Blockuses from size 1 to 5, and make sure I knew exactly how many I had. And oh yes, it was a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, let me get to my main event here. The Great Dalmuti. Okay, this one from the 90s. I was 5 years old when this bad boy came out. The Great Dalmuti. This is a crowd favorite. Plays 4 to 8 players. There's a little bit of hierarchy going on here. There's a king. There's some I think field workers. There's a guy who services the king. I don't know. The thing about it is you got cards 1 to 13, I believe, and whatever the number is, that's how many cards there are in the deck. So there's only one Great Dalmuti. There's 13 Fool cards. 12 rat catchers, as you can see on the screen. And then so what you do is it's kind of like a game of maybe Go Fish. I don't know. What you're doing is you're laying down a hand of pairs, or whatever you do, you call it out. You say, I got 4 Fool cards, which is kind of common because there's 13 Fool cards, right? So there's a high probability that you're going to have a lot of those cards in your hand. and the play goes around in the circle. If you want to keep playing on this hand, you have to be able to lay down the same number of cards that was called out, but at a lower number on the card. So you can't play also another set of 4 fool cards if 4 fool cards were just played. You'd have to play the rat catchers next, which are the number 12 card. So these are different than the ones I played with. These ones are very scary. The ones I played with looked like they were actually from 1995. They looked like they were loved, and that's because the Williams who I played with also, they're going to come up in my over the fence, a little foreshadowing. That's what I played with. That's
Nice.
a lot more cute. I
That's
felt
great.
more at home. Number 5 is like she's the nun. Like, yeah, that's a lot less scary. There's no rats. You can also see there's a jester in this hook card, which is like the wild card. So if you have only 2 of the number 10 card, but you want to sneak in on a round of hands that is being played that has 3, but you only have 2 of the 10, you can slap on a jester, and he pretends like he's a 10 for that hand. And so the name of the game is you want to get rid of all the cards that are in your hand. And if the first person to get rid of all the cards in their hand become the Great Dalmuti for that game, and you will actually change the orientation of the table. You stand up, the Great Dalmuti sits at the front of the head of the table, and he will get paid royalty from the lowest ranking person who goes out last in the round. The way we played, I don't know if it's a house rule. Like you just agree on how many rounds you're playing. So we only played 3 rounds. So the order of where everybody sat changed up twice, right? And by the end of the third one, whoever was the Great Dalmuti, they just won the game. So like, this is kind of like how it went. It was like, okay, I'm playing 3 of this number, and then you throw it down. And then everyone has to go around and be like, okay, well, I play 3 of this number, but it has to keep going down, 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 down. But as it goes down in the numbers, it's harder and harder to make those pairs because there's less and less of those cards. So it's a very interesting strategy game. Again, these are the same kids that I played Dune Imperium with, so they are cutthroat. People are freaking. They beat the tar out of me. I'll tell you that. When you pay the taxes or whatever at the beginning of the round, you have to give your 2 best cards to the king. Like if you're the lowest person, you give him the 2 best cards to the king. And then the king gives you his 2 worst cards, which might end up helping you out in the end because the 2 best cards are the Dalmuti, like the lower numbers.
Yeah.
But you might end up giving, this field person, the field worker, 2, 13s, and now they have a great, I don't know, they got a great match. They got a great hand that now they can rule the tricks, I guess, if you could say. But I still don't know. I don't know the strategy.
I don't.
They
games
kick the tar out of me. These kids,
I don't
rough.
get these games, man. This is like a genre of games, right? Like shedding games, ladder climbing games, where you're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand. And I play them and I like them. I'm like, it's cool. Like I'm trying to get rid of stuff, but I could not tell you, like strategy wise, what people are thinking. Like, do you try and save your really good sets till the end so people don't have any cards to beat it, or do you start with just a single card? Like I have no idea the strategy. They're fun games. I have a bunch of them. We played Bacon that Travis sent us not that long ago with the Heddens, and it was awesome. Like you had all these like menus of different combos you could play to get rid of cards. But again, I just had no clue why or when I was going to do it. It's like, if I can beat the person, I'm going to beat them, obviously, but this is cool. I like that twist that you have to go down and that the ranks get harder and harder to, create. Is it all just sets? So it's all you're playing a set of like 3 of a kind.
But you can also just lay down 1 card. So you can be like, I'm just laying down a 10. But then if you lay down a 10, you can't play any numbers above 10. You just have to keep
Yeah.
going down. So
Yeah.
you're like almost forcing people to play their lower numbers.
Yeah.
And
There's strategy there, man.
whoever lays down the last card, and then you can pass. Everybody passes.
Yeah.
But we played where if you passed and it came back to you, you could pass again, or you could play again. But if everybody passed in succession, then no one plays again. And the last person to lay down would start off the next hand. So then you would set like, okay, well, here's our starting number and how many are in, the pair or the triplet or whatever that are actually being played. And I got my butt, mopped across the floor. The best part of this game, I forgot. Best part of the game. The wife Adina, she actually created a crown. She sewed this crown that the Great Dalmuti could wear.
No.
And the youngest one, the one who won, got to wear this dang crown the whole time. They let me wear the crown the first time because at the beginning they just like, well, we won't pay taxes, but let's all just like sit wherever you want to sit. And as the guest of honor, they let me wear the crown for one round. It was not earned. It was only just given to me. And I immediately fell off of my crown or off my, my high horse. And I lost. But I liked it
didn't
a
pay the
lot.
iron price for it.
Yeah, the Iron Throne. That's right.
Jared. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Clay.
No. I was just going to ask, do you know who Richard Garfield is?
No clue.
He designed probably the highest grossing game of all time. He's the designer of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's cool.
I was just going to ask
that.
you, Clay. I was going to ask you what else Wizards of the Coast did before Magic the Gathering, because this is like some weird thing. I imagine they like tried other card games before Magic came around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what year Magic started, but
I think it was.
They probably have a
90s.
bunch of weird ones like this that I am kind of into and want to check out.
Yeah, no, that's a like a freaking cool find.
Well, when we do a publisher deep dive on Wizards of the Coast, we will have to figure out what else they've been up to.
Whoa.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Anyways,
great debrief. I love
it. Was
it.
a blast. I loved it. So that's the Great Dalmuti.
Excellent. Clay, tell me what games you played this week.
I'm going to tell you about one game in particular because my co-host here, Jared, we went through the winners of the Golden Geek Awards, and we were a little coy about print and play. Neither of us have printed or played any print and plays. And so Jared put it out there. He's like, well, let's just do it. It's like $5 to buy this thing.
I bought this one today, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, yeah, right after that podcast, I went on, bought it, downloaded the copies. By the way, I didn't say it yet, but we're talking 52 Realms Adventures. This won the Golden Geek for best print and play this 2024. So after the podcast, bought it, got sent the files, and basically for a game, you have to print out a single piece of paper that's a map, and then a single piece of paper that is your character. And your character piece of paper has two characters on, so you can kind of decide which one you want to be, and you slide the other one underneath the map, and you're ready to go. All you need is a deck of cards and like a couple maybe coins or anything really to like track a couple things on the map, track where your character moves throughout the map. So you start in this dungeon, and basically it's just a dungeon crawl, and you're trying to make it to the boss at the end and beat them before you die by either sustaining too many wounds or you exhaust your deck of cards. And it's just a 52 card deck. And everything is about this 52 card deck. Reminds me a lot of Regicide, honestly. So your character has a couple different areas of note. Your character has 4 item slots. So you can put cards when you gain them as rewards as items. And so like you can take a heart card and put it in your heart item spot. and you can discard it at some point in time to get the benefit of that item. So as you get these cards, you decide whether you want to put them as an item. You can store them in loot. So you count up your loot at the end of the game to see how well you did, or you can use them as equipment, which is what I felt was kind of the most valuable thing to do with them, because your equipment, you can have as many as you want, and you kind of exhaust them to fight bad guys and go through doors and things. So your equipment, you use a lot. And that's down at the bottom. So on your turn, you kind of move from room to room. And there are some passageways which just require you to exhaust an equipment card that has a higher value than the passageway. So you probably can't hardly see it, but in this, like the first passageway has a value of 4. So if I had an equipment card of like a 7, I could, tap it, turn it sideways, and then move to that room. And then each room has like a special effect where maybe you draw a card off the top of the deck, and the room will tell you like, oh, if it's a clubs card, you get to put it in your item stash, or if it's a diamonds card, you have to take a wound. Or you can go through passageways that have a monster at them, and this is where the game gets interesting, because you go through that passageway and then you draw 2 cards off the top of the deck. The higher one is the monster's value, and the lower one is the reward you get for beating the monster. And again, the reward you can use as item, loot, or equipment. And so you fight this monster, and basically you draw a card off the top of the deck. That tells you what the monster is going to do on their turn. So you have a second to think about what you might want to do to fight against it. You can block, you can attack, and all this is with your equipment cards, blocking and attacking. You can use one of your character abilities, so each character has its own unique ability. Or you can rest, which lets you reset all your equipment cards back to an upright state so you can use them again. So sometimes fighting is the best way just to like reset your cards that you've exhausted. And so anyway, you get done the fight and you get your reward. You move on to the next room. But it's so clever what they did with just a deck of cards and just 2 pieces of paper. I was blown away. I played through the first map, literally came down to the last card in the deck. I was about to lose, and the monster drew that card to fight me, and I was able to exhaust one of my equipment cards to beat it. But it was really tense. It was exciting.
Nice.
I printed out the second. I printed out the second map and, immediately did that one. And these are like 15, 20-minute games. So it was super cool. There's this battle track. So you keep track of the monster's HP. And if you like use the right amount of attack to get them down to one of those like black bannered spots, you get a bonus. So like some of them will be like, oh, you can parry their next attack, or you can refresh 2 of your equipment cards. So it's really cool the way you can kind of puzzle out combat and try and, figure out the best way to maneuver through it. But yeah, I was blown away. Solo games, don't do them. Print and plays, never done it. So this was definitely out of my comfort zone. And I'm glad I went there, because it is amazing what people come up with. I would suggest anybody that has a spare $5, check this out, print out a couple pieces of paper and just give it a go, because it's a good time.
Yeah, I think print and plays, especially ones this size, are really slept on. They have they'll show up every once in a while on Kickstarter, GameFound, or whatever, and you literally pay like $1. It's like, pay what you want and we'll send you the files. And that type of stuff is awesome. It's just like people that are passionate about what they've done and what they've made, and like they just want a little bit of money back for their time. And I've found a couple, so they're kind of hit or miss with how long you actually spend with them. But there are some out there, like one of them that I just backed is not just backed, but like backed a while ago, is called Knight, Knight. And that was a print and play. And they have like Knight, and then they have a separate one that's like space version of it. And man, those games are like so cool and short and easy to pick up and play. And I love games this size. And I was packing for, all of our travels. And at the bottom of one of my bags, there was already a deck of cards. And I was like, I have no excuse. So this is definitely one that I will play while we're traveling, because I'm really excited to get this to the table.
And you don't even need to print it out. You could, if you had a tablet, just play it on the tablet screen. There's actually like when in the download file, there's like for print and for screen. So, people that had an iPad or something could just lay it flat and use and move around on the map like that. So you don't even really need to print it, and you can just play it.
We might
Maybe I'll try
have to
that
give this
out.
one a
Yeah.
sustainability award right here.
Yeah.
You're using,
Yeah.
deck of cards you already have. Use little pennies and nickels for your
Yeah.
little counters. There you go.
Clay, have you ever played one deck dungeon?
No.
Are you into like dungeon crawlers like that?
I was into this dungeon crawler.
Yeah,
Because
I would
it was
recommend.
this was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, one deck dungeon is pretty popular.
Okay.
I actually picked it up at Petrie's. They had it used, and it had like a bunch of expansions and stuff. And I think before I left Colorado, it might be in storage. Don't quote me on this, but I think I got rid of it, and that has been like kind of bugging me that I may have gotten rid of it. And that is one that I might pick back up because man, I love dungeon crawlers like this that you can play solo. They're super light and easy, and you can like get a fun experience out of it in like 15 minutes. I love that stuff. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, Jared, thanks for egging me on and suggesting this, because I would have just blown past it and been like, I'll never play a print and play. Why would I do that?
Clay, you're not that hard to egg on, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Where did you print this thing out? Did you go down to your local library, or you got a printer?
No, Mary's got her diesel printer upstairs. So.
Oh yeah,
diesel printer.
Wait, does Scott know about that?
No, this is our printer.
Time?
This is our printer.
Okay.
She just uses it for Diesel Pro.
Okay.
So
it's
fine.
Printer.
Yeah.
It runs on diesel.
Well, Travis, I really want to hear what the heck you've been up to.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of a debrief.
You got
here,
a lot to debrief.
champ.
You got 3 weeks of debriefing to do.
Yeah.
Huh?
So you guys gave me all this crap on the podcast about how I didn't bring any games, didn't play any games. Okay. Not only did I bring games, I tried to bring like a thematic game experience.
Whoa.
Because we went on a cruise. And I brought a whole bunch of games that were all nautical themed. Okay.
Look at you.
Wow.
The first one that we played a couple times was Whale to Look. It's an Oink game from 2023. I've talked about this very briefly, but it's like a hidden movement bluffing game where you are using resources to look at these cards that dictate a number of fish that are going to show up in that quadrant. And when you know that number of fish, you are trying to position your boats that have 1, 2, or 3 sightseers in it into these blue spaces between the fish tiles that will be where the whales appear. There's 2 whales in every game. There's an orca and a gray whale, I think. And the orca will go where the least amount of fish appear. And the gray whale will go where the most amount of fish appear. So what you do is once you are using these little smaller boat looking things, these like kind of triangle shapes, you spend one of those on your turn to flip over one of the fish tiles, look at it secretly, and then return it to its place. And you can go back and look at those at any time you want once you have placed your little boat there. Then you also have a radar token or a sonar token, which is like kind of like that Wi-Fi looking logo. And you can use those to permanently flip one of the fish tiles and reveal it to everyone. And so you're trying to position these boats and maybe like put them in the wrong space so that other people think that there might be a whale that appears there. And if you look at one of the fish tiles, you have to move one of your ships. So you can keep doing that back and forth so long as you have tiles to move, or you want to continue to move your ships. And so you can kind of go around and kind of bluff people and move it back and forth, move it in a circle, like do all this maneuvering and stuff to try and bluff the other people into thinking that a whale is going to appear. And then once everybody passes, then the whale appears and you score points equal to the number of passengers that are in that space. Okay.
Wow.
So if I put the boat with 3 passengers in it, I get 3 points. The one other thing is like, you also have an anchor. If you're like very confident that a whale is going there, you can place an anchor and not move that ship anymore. and that scores you an additional 2 points for that boat. Then you start the next round, and you play a number of rounds equal to the number of players, and this plays up to 4. And each round you flip like an additional, I can't remember what they call it, but there are these cards that will change the rules of scoring for the next round. So maybe like wherever the orca appears gets 3 extra points if you have a boat there.
Ooh.
Or some of them have like whalers where like you're trying to avoid where the whalers are going. And it's just kind of like you score multipliers or you score differently than you would normally. Or you're trying to go where no whales are for whatever reason. So yeah, Whale to Look is like a really cool oink game. You know, it's the size of a deck of cards like most oink games. And yeah, it was a great starter to the cruise weekend, or cruise week rather. We also played, you know, Sea Salt and Paper, the great beachy ocean theme. We played with the Extra Salt expansion, which I had not done before. And there's not a whole lot different. It has like the little jellyfish where you can basically prevent your opponent from taking another turn. It's got
the seahorse. I love the seahorse.
Yeah, the seahorse can like fill in
wild,
a missing. Yeah, it's like a wild on one of the sets that you're trying to build. Man, what else is there? The starfish,
the lobster.
Yeah. There's like a couple of different things. I got that one at Essen Spiel, and I didn't have the English rules, but I just pulled it up on my phone and it worked great. That game is so good at any player count. It plays so clean at 2 players. It plays good at 3 players. Plays good at 4 players. I love Sea Salt and Paper.
There's a reason it won the small box beatdown, Travis.
That's true. That game is great. I cannot get enough of that game. Then what else did I bring? I brought your escape room in a box that you sent me, Clay, that like escape of the Nautilus or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's got a big kraken on the front or a big giant squid that's like eating a ship. Okay. That one, it said playtime is 60 minutes, and we were kind of limited on time. We didn't actually get to that one. But then I brought, Jared, you said I didn't bring any button shy games. I brought plenty of button shy games. Okay. I brought At the Helm. I brought, was it Wild Tales, which is like a pirate themed game. Okay.
All right.
I brought a whole, yeah. Yes,
I'm starting to think that maybe you brought too many games.
I brought a lot of games. But what I do want to say is very first night we're there, we're hanging out, we're like kind of walking around the ship, getting to get our feelers out there, see what's going on. And we look over at one of the like restaurant bar areas, and these 2 guys are playing Clay, help me out. What's like the chicken themed Reiner Knizia game with like the tiles? I talked about it probably like episode 2. Yeah, Picomino. 2 guys playing Picomino.
Deep
and I'm
cut.
like, they're playing a Reiner Knizia game right now.
Wow.
I told Rachel, like, I gotta go say hi and like strike up a conversation. And I walked over and I said, this game's great. I love Reiner Knizia, like love board games. Glad to see that you're playing them. And they looked at me and said, like, no English. Struck out.
Dang.
Later in the week, I see somebody playing Catan in this corner booth. They have like all the deluxe pieces, like 3D printed like castles and cities and stuff. And I'm like, these guys know what's up. I'm gonna go over there and say hi.
Yeah.
No English. Struck out again. Third time, see another group, separate group playing Catan. Went up to strike a conversation, and they were just rude and didn't want to talk to me. But turns out that Europeans love their euros, and Catan was a hit on the boat. So I was a little bummed. I should have carried around a big stack of Operation Game Night stickers to give them, but I tried to make board game friends on a cruise, and I kind of struck out. So
I'm sorry, Travis.
That's
you gotta go on the Dice Tower cruise. You'll make plenty of board game friends.
That's
there.
right.
What size was this ship? Are we talking like big Carnival cruise? Or are we talking the smaller like Viking cruise type size?
It was not Viking. Viking has like a couple hundred people. It's like real small. This one maybe had maybe like 4,000 people. Like it was a pretty big cruise.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have the means, I highly recommend cruising the Norwegian fjords because they're awesome.
Yeah.
My only regret,
big enough where you can get ice cream 24/7. Whenever you were...
No 24/7 ice cream, which is kind of a bummer. I know.
Oh
I know.
my gosh!
But we went on like kind of a budget cruise line. We went on kind of a budget cruise line where they don't have like the soft serve where you can just walk out to the pool and serve yourself.
That's probably just such an American thing. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, who would want this?
I'm just like,
Man.
I want to put my mouth underneath the dispenser and just dispense ice cream straight into my mouth. And yeah.
Lots of good stories about the way that they operate a buffet on a European cruise line, but we're not going to get into that here. But
That's
the one time,
maybe over the fence material. I don't know.
For real.
Maybe
We'll talk about that later. But one time I did go on a cruise that had a Guy Fieri burger bar, build your own burger bar next to the ice cream maker. It was awesome. So good.
Wow.
Anyways, my only regret is that my Grail Games copy of Fjords did not come in before I went on this Norwegian Fjords cruise. So once Fjords comes in, I'll have to compare and contrast how being in the Norwegian Fjords compares to playing a board game about the fjords. More to come.
Well, beautiful.
All right. Are we ready?
Well, I guess we have to. No, I just, on behalf of Jared, myself, like to apologize that we assumed the worst of you. It seems like you did your job as a Operation Game Night member and took the appropriate amount of games, potentially too many, on your cruise. So,
Rachel, I immediately eat my words and I apologize for everything I said last episode. Baby Gwen, I'm sure you were not clamoring for the button shies. I'm sure they were piled on top of you while they were trying to get out the door, and I apologize.
That's right. Clay, more importantly, have you played the Lord of the Rings Trick Taker at 2 players or less than 4 players?
No.
Okay. I was so excited to get this played. So excited to get this played. I'm like, I'm going to bring it to the pool. We're going to set up on a little table. We're going to get this played. Trick Taker. Baby Gwen's like napping. And then I open it up and I like get the rule book out and I discovered that you have to like run a 3rd-person pyramid in a 2-player game. Yeah. And I was just immediately turned off and did not want to do that.
And that's why I don't do that stuff. I'm like, if it's a 4-player game for me, I'm gonna play it 4 players. If I want to play a 2-player Trick Taker, I'm playing Jekyll versus Hyde, Fox in the Forest, something handcrafted for that. I don't need to. We talked about player count already. I could go on and on about trying to force a player count in there, but I won't.
Yeah, you have to like. There's like this 3rd person that's like a pyramid of overturned cards that you then have to like flip and play to a different area. It's probably not all that much work, but just like the fact that I have to reach over, like the gaming time we have is limited. The attention span that we have, especially now, is extremely limited. I'm not doing that. So, Jared, put Adrian on notice. It's in the bag. We're bringing it. We're going to play it. 4-player.
4-player Trick Taker.
All hands on deck. Let's do it.
Okay. I like it. Consider her on notice.
That's right. Are we ready to go over the fence?
No, I'm not going.
Mission objective. Mission objective. Man, I'm rusty.
Yeah.
Mission objective. Today we're talking. Clay, you say push your luck, don't you? Press your luck.
I would say push your luck.
Okay.
I'm a push guy.
Press your luck. Push your luck. Is it push your luck or press your luck? What is it on BGG?
I think either is acceptable. I'll go to BGG and let you know.
I mean, they call it risk for a reason, right? It's not safe, right? It's called risk.
That's
I threw that out in the game in the chat yesterday. The boys went wild, and now we're talking about press your luck. So
game's called risk, not called safe. Today we're talking press your luck.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mary's not here to talk about press your luck because she is the one who's always just pressing her luck. So I hope we're talking spots. I hope we're talking that one where I run in with the monsters all around me and there's fire.
Ink and gold.
Ink and gold. I love the little tent.
Yeah.
But
for the record,
please.
Point of order.
Push your luck in BGG. So
wow. Yes. Okay. Well, push your luck, press your luck. We're going to consider those the same thing for the sake of conversation, but push your luck, press your luck. This gambling mentality is one of our favorite mechanics. I think across the board, I think all of us had it in our favorite mechanisms when we talk with Tara, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it was in
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. So when we're talking push your luck or press your luck, we're talking about taking a gamble, taking a chance, relying on some sort of odds to gain advantage or to score more points or to meet in-game victory conditions.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite games involve this. Games as old as time involve this. We're talking like dominoes. We're talking blackjack. We're talking most casino games. We're talking war. We're talking games as old as time. All involve this mechanism. But some of our modern day favorites also involve this mechanism. Jared, you mentioned a couple already. Spots, one of your favorite games.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the press your luck in spots.
Well, I mean, for specific reason, spots is obviously coming to mind because press your luck, you're rolling these die, and if you can't place them on your dogs, because your dogs have very specific needs. There's some dogs that they need certain things. Maybe they can't have kibbles. Maybe they got extra nipples. Maybe there's Butthole Bert. He only needs one. He just needs
The
one
goat.
little
The
the
goat,
goat.
Butthole Bert.
Butthole Bert, Lil Beth. But I love the mechanism within spots where if you're able to press your luck and you're lucky enough to fill up all your dogs, you do an auto score.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts of spots, and like something that always just like makes you want to just go a little bit harder, in the paint. You're backed into a corner, your dog pound's a little full. You can't have over 7 in your dog pound. And maybe you got 6 in there, but you can squeeze 1 in there. And you just need to roll a 4. But if you roll a 4, you're gonna get an auto score and you're gonna get 3 new dogs. It's all on the line, and you just grab that one die and the crowd goes wild. Like you land that 4, you get the auto score. I just love it. I love it.
Jared, what you're talking about, that is press your luck in a nutshell for me. The crowd going wild. Like that is what makes these games ones that I always want to come back to, because you are always interested in what other people are doing. And even if it's to your detriment, it's still exciting, to see somebody pull off the improbable. And just those moments are just what make push your luck games constantly come to the table for me. Like I still remember the game where everybody hopped off. Mary had like 2 die left in Lem, and we were only like halfway through space. Everybody had jumped off the rocket ship, and she just kept rolling these 2 die and getting the things she needed to get to deep space. And it didn't even matter at that point that this was bad for the rest of us. We were cheering. We were like, wow, holy cow. I can't believe you did it. And those moments are what make gaming fun for me. It's exciting to see Jared, get to the top of the temple track in Lost Ruins of Arnak, but it doesn't elicit those emotions like they do in a good push your luck game.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think a lot of our favorite games involve that type of mechanism, or at least that like distilled down simple version of that choice, right? Mary can choose to stop rolling dice and hop off the rocket ship.
I don't know if she can. There might be something missing in her head.
Well, that's also true. I mean, cognitively speaking, but the actual game-based decision that she's making is, do I roll this again or do I hop off the rocket ship and be done? If you're, trying to fill out all of your dog cards and spots, do I roll these dice again or do I roll that one die again? Do we keep going or do I stop? You're playing blackjack. Do I hit again or do I stop? Like, it's such a simple, low stakes decision that you're making. You're not like trying to screw somebody over. You're not trying to it's not like combative or anything most of the time. I don't know of any like press your luck combative type stuff like that. But like it's such a simple decision with such low stakes that elicits such strong emotions because it's you put this weight on it as you're continuing to press your luck, and the stakes get higher and higher and higher in your own mind, right? What's the actual stake of losing that board game, or busting on spots? You pull your dice off, you start over. Like, there's really no stakes to it, but like, you get your heart pumping, you get your adrenaline amped up, you got people jumping on chairs and like going wild for it.
Oh yeah. I say I press my luck a lot when I play Dead Reckoning.
There you go.
Because I'm pressing my luck to blast Clay as much as possible. Because I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's really press your luck. You guys need to help me figure this out live. I don't know how many cannons he's gonna have when I come up on his ship, and I want to hit him with as many dice as I can. And the way that I love the battle mechanism on Dead Reckoning, because you get to drop anytime I get to drop cubes into this into a silo. I don't know, what do you call that thing?
A dice tower.
A dice tower. I mean, it's the same thing that you get to see in Wingspan when you drop the little resource die.
Yeah.
You drop these little chits, these little cubes down into the channel, and it pops out, and then you get to see who gets blasted, who gets fire. But I don't know how many cubes Clay's about to unleash on me. He might have a couple upgraded gunners. He might jettison some of his loot so that he can blast me. I don't know.
Jared, you know I'd never have gunners.
No, yeah, you're an easy one.
Yeah, I'm a purser guy.
I think that's an important distinction, is like taking a risk versus press your luck or push your luck as a mechanism. What is the distinction? Clayton, fill me in.
Well, I would say that what Jared's describing is more taking a risk than pushing your luck. And me, when I think of pushing your luck, I think of games where you can choose to keep going after you've already attained something, but you want more. You get greedy. You're in inking gold, and you've got all that stuff in front of you, and you're like, I could leave now and make sure I keep this, but I want to go further and get more and more. And you have that gambler's psychology about it. Taking a risk, that's a one-time thing. It may or may not pay off. And so I don't know. That's just like off the top of my head. You put me on the spot. I think the repetitive nature of being able to keep going with it.
But I repetitively want to blast you.
Well, that's true.
That's the problem.
Those are separate.
The end goal is to sink your ship so I can steal all your gold. So I repetitively drop the cubes. No.
We're undecided. Leave in the comments.
I mean, leave it in the comments. But obviously, with spots, it's very distilled down. Dice are like the easiest way to push the luck, I feel like. But another great game that we've recently been popping off on board game arena, Flip 7.
Oh yeah.
A card-based push your luck, where you're flipping these cards over and trying to rack up these points. Did I pull off the W on that one this week?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I may have burned some friendships here, guys. Did
Jared,
you guys see that one coming?
I did see it coming. I busted on like the first 7 turns, so I was pretty well out of it. But on the last turn of the game, I did flip 7 with a +10.
Wow.
And I scored a crap ton of points, and it felt amazing. I still lost. But again, that's why push your luck so fun, because I was out of the game, but I just kept hitting. And I had these low number cards. I was like, I might be able to get 7. And sure enough, I did.
Wait, why is it called Flip 7?
Jared, have you been playing this game and you don't even understand the core premise of the game?
Why is it called? Okay.
So if you manage to flip over 7 number cards and they're all different, you get an additional 15 points on top of what your normal score would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it really incentivizes you. You got like
to
5 or
7.
6, and you're like, you know what? Hit me again.
So push your luck was it was working on me without, and I didn't even know there was extra incentives. I didn't even know the auto score on your dog cards was there. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like apply that to Flip 7.
Yeah.
Now I'm really gonna blast your ass. So
Oh, I believe it.
okay.
My
All right,
ass is ready for incoming fire.
well, okay. Well,
All right.
let's run it back. We need to run it back with emptiness.
Yeah.
Board game
Fire it up. Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Now I know.
Yeah. Now you know.
So, but that's doesn't have the same kind of card distribution as the Great Dalmuti.
It does. Yes.
Yeah, it
when you were
does.
talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Dalmuti doesn't have like the 0 points or the plus 12 or the ×2 or the those weird ones that are specialized. Doesn't
And
sound
the
like
0 point card is actually really good because it adds an extra card to get you to 7.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
This game is unfolding live and in person.
Just like Rebirth did for me last week.
Oh,
that's right.
Flip 7's coming in the mail today.
Yeah.
So, I will have it with me. I'll play with the Williamses, the boys down the street. This
play
week
with the Smiths.
Yeah, let's go.
Dang.
Anyways, we've got off topic, but so
let's get back on. Let's
hop back on. Mission objective.
Some of our like favorite game shows out there involve push your luck, right? Like at its core, you're talking about like your what is it? Price is Right.
Price is Right.
Yeah, Price is Right. Your Jeopardies, your Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is like you're pushing your luck, right? You could continue to answer that next question, or you could take the money and run. So what is it about watching somebody else push their luck like that, even with stakes as low as falling off the mountain in Mountain Goats, or busting on Can't Stop? Like, what is that elicits that emotion? What do you think?
Come on, biology major. I bet you our amygdala.
Dopamine. There's dopamine going.
Yep.
There's dopamine. We love that excitement, always wanting more. I don't know specifically what makes that way for watching a show, if you will, but the excitement is there when it is around the table, and you can feel that tension and excitement, and because it encourages table talk, like you and the social pressure of like egging people on to go ahead, hit one more time. I bet you can get 7, and then to either see it fail or succeed. Either way, it's fun as a spectator. So I can't speak to the specific psychologies of why humans like to gamble. Probably something back to our caveman days of going out on a hunt, and I don't know.
That's fair. Going that one extra mile for that one extra turkey. One more.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think inherently people love gathering around a table to play push your luck, press your luck games, because you want to see that person that is pressing their luck fail. Like, you don't want them to succeed. That means you lose, right? But then they get to a certain point where they've succeeded a couple times, and you're like, maybe they could do it. Maybe Mary could roll that one extra die that she needs.
Yeah.
Maybe they will go all the way on this one turn. And it's just like, you kind of start to root for them. And then when they fail, it's like, oh, but thank God, because I didn't lose, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're that person, that everybody else wants you to fail, which just like triggers something in your brain, like, I have to keep going because screw them. I have to win. I have to show them that I can beat the odds, right? It's always about like beating the odds and getting that one more turn or that one more roll or that one more card. And that's like what really gets people invested and talking and like focus on what they're doing in those press your luck games. I distinctly remember like we had family over and we were playing Can't Stop, and I won the game in one single turn. Like, I started and I won in one turn because I took 6, 7, 8, and I took those 3 numbers and I could fill one of them every single time. And I charged all the way up and I did it in one turn. And the whole time people were like, this is it. You're going to bust. You're going to bust. Don't get greedy. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Regardless of what like I have not really lost anything if I bust because they still have to climb those ladders too. And I won it in one turn, and like people were cheering at the end, and like
That's
that type of stuff
crazy.
is so satisfying and so good, and it makes for such a cool moment.
That is pretty epic.
You know what else is awesome about push your luck games?
What?
It kind of levels the playing field a little bit, you know?
Oh yeah.
You can kind of bridge that skill gap where, just because I own the game and have played it a ton of times, there's still a way for somebody newer to the game to, push their luck and take the right risks, and they still have a shot to, win. Whereas somebody plays Lost Ruins of Arnak with Jared, they don't have that shot.
Are you
Lady Luck
bringing up
plays
this
everybody
Lost
fair.
Ruins of Arnak? Are you? What's going on? BGA? Are you sad that you're in a BGA battle with me and Dallin right now? There's no pressing of lucking.
Yeah, there's no chance. I just watch you guys slowly climb the temple track and have all these more. I'm passing and I'm just seeing things happening. So I'm a little sore about that. And you got me in with your boy Obsidian in Feast for Odin. And my board is not full at all. and I'm looking over, and I wish there was a way I could gamble. I guess I take
There's a little bit of press your luck, I promise you. I feel like a little bit in the games of hunting and rating, because you could go a little bit more like, ooh, I did roll an 8, but I really want a 12. Do I want to press my luck and roll this thing again?
Luck, I would say,
pushing press. I want to nudge my luck a little bit here and see if I can get higher than an 8. But then you end up screwing yourself over and you roll a 2. And so then you really can't get that piece that you really wanted.
That is push.
You should have just stayed with the 8.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But you get 3 rolls, though. That's the beauty of it. You get 3 chances.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Pressure luck. It's kind of permeated into other games. Like you've got Wonderland's War, that is area control combat, and press your luck with the bag building and all these other mechanisms. What are some other mechanisms that you want to see paired with press your luck in the future?
Travis, I'll get back to that answer real quick, but I want to answer your previous question that we stumbled around about why people like it. I think people like these games because you can't behave that way in real life normally. Like normal people can't take those type of risks in their daily lives. So to be able to watch or see or yourself be taking those gambles and, really shooting for the moon, I think that people like live vicariously through those, like that microcosm of feeling risky.
Anyway, avatar, just out of body experience.
Back to your other question, I will turn it over to Jared to see what mechanisms he would like to see paired with pushing his luck.
Oh, don't you put me on the big screen.
You're on the big screen now.
I'm on the big screen. Well, I mean, now that you brought up Wonderland's War, I mean, I just thought of Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Yeah. Also pressure luck.
Yeah.
Quedlinburg.
Obviously, I'm a big fan of the bags. Something where you draw the output randomness. We've got to get Phil Walker Harding back on here. Output random. I'm grabbing something and now I got to decide what the hell to do with it. Because I do like that. Well, once you pull it in
input randomness.
Sure.
Input randomness. You are taking an input and deciding what to do with it.
I'm taking it. And then, in that one, you just grab it and then you're like, well, okay, now that's where I need to put it. But it would be cool if you could pull it out and then where do I want to where do I want to put this?
Rebirth.
Well, boom.
Done.
Is there a pressure?
Thanks, Reiner.
Yeah, is Rebirth, but Rebirth isn't really pressing any lucky.
No, it's not. Not really.
So give me a Rebirth with a press your luck.
There you go. That answers the question.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
If you decide you can keep going as long as you can place a tile And then if you draw one that you can't place, all of your sand castles crumble and you're back to square one.
Whoa.
Or just add the captain flip mechanism to Rebirth,
Oh, yes.
where you draw the tile and you're like, if I decide to flip it, I got to keep it with that one and put it out.
There you go.
So,
I like that. That's good.
I do like that Captain Flip.
Yeah, Captain Flip's good. I like Captain Flip a lot.
So simple. Clay, what would you like to see Press Your Luck paired with?
Abstract strategy games.
Ooh.
Those things are so dry. I try and play them, and I would just like to see a little more flair and flavor in those games. I guess it kind of defeats the whole purpose of a abstract strategy game like chess or checkers if there was some random way you could risk it to get ahead. But perfect information is not my jam. So I was just playing Santorini with the kids, and I was like, this game's good, but what if I could just have to decide randomly what to play instead of, having to think 15 steps ahead for my only chance to win. So I don't know. You asked a tough question, Travis. I know. Wish I could.
What about you, Travis?
Yeah, put Choop on the spotlight.
Put him on the front. Yeah, make him big.
To be fair, I just thought of this question as we were talking, but I think Press Your Luck with dexterity would be cool, and it exists some places, but it's not real prevalent. And I think that might be the next big thing. Is like, I think there was one where there was a game where it was about crows picking up shiny things, and so you'd have to go with your little beak, which was tweezers, and pick up these shiny objects and carefully move them. It's twiddly sticks or whatever, pick up sticks where you're trying to pick them up gently without disturbing the other ones. But you're trying to pick up little items that are shiny items that these crows are collecting, and continuing to do that until something fails. I think that would be a cool mechanism. Or Kerplunk. It's kind of like Press Your Luck, right? You're pulling the little sticks out. You ever played that? The big cylinder with the marbles up top. No. It's a big cylinder with marbles with a bunch of sticks around the outside. And you can continue to pull the sticks until you don't want to anymore. Or Jenga, right? I can continue to pull these pieces off until I want to stop and then pass it to the other person. I think that's an underappreciated market for the adult board game world. Press Your Luck meets dexterity.
Interesting.
Did we do it?
I think we did it. Do we want to give a shout out to just come up we've talked about some of our favorites, but I just want to, wrap it all up here with some of my favorite Push Your Luck games.
Please.
Ink and Gold. What we got? Captain Flip just talked about it. Quaxaquedlinburg. Flip 7. Spots. Yeah, freaking Spots. Wonderland's War for a bigger one. What else? I was just looking back there. You got Ra. I think Ra has.
Oh yeah.
The funnest part of it to me is the Push Your Luck part, where you're at the end, and it's oh man, do I keep drawing tiles? And if it's one of those red ones, I'm gonna get nothing. But I can keep drawing and getting more. That's an awesome part of Ra. So, Any other Push Your Luck games you guys want to shout out? Can't Stop.
Can't Stop. I have played probably more Can't Stop than I have played any other game out there.
Isn't Heat a little bit?
Yeah, with the stress cards, maybe.
Yeah. I guess you're taking a risk, taking heat into your engine in a deck building format, but my parents would say Yahtzee. My parents love Yahtzee. Ooh, just they could be simple, they could be complex, but it's a cool mechanism that can get everybody involved. Clay, that was a good call about leveling the playing field. Good, people that are new to a game and people that have played it a million times have the same chance at Can't Stop or Spots or whatever.
Yeah.
Brings people to the table. I love it. All right. Are we ready to go over the fence?
Let's go.
Let's go over.
All right. Jared, hit me. What have you been doing outside of board gaming?
Well, I mentioned my babysitter family. That I was going to come back to them. Well, we went out skeet shooting here in Alabama, knocking down some clay pigeons. It's been a while since I've shot a shotgun. Last time I shot a shotgun was when I was in Nellis. I still had a box of 12 gauge,
Shells.
target shells, and I'd hauled them from Vegas to Colorado Springs, and I also shipped them here to Alabama. And Adri's like,
Great.
those are not being moved again. So I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably just get rid of them. And like randomly, I was talking to the dad, and he's like, oh, we like to go to this range. They have like it's like multiple, and I always forget what's the difference between skeet and trap.
One goes left to right, and the other comes out from underneath you, and it's in a random direction.
Oh, we did both. And
Yeah.
I'm bad at the one that goes at random directions because I'm bad at deciding where to go.
Yeah.
I like to know where things are going and where to hit it. But I had a lot of fun because there's also like these rabbit ones where they like skip across the ground and you have to shoot it as it's popping across the ground. And they said the loser has to buy milkshakes. So I did have to go to Chick-fil-A after that. Got me one of them delicious Oreo milkshakes. So that was my over the fence. So Travis, you definitely got to check out the Lower Wetumpka Shooting Club.
Definitely.
Okay.
I will definitely.
A lot of fun. Yeah, it's been a while since I got out there, and I shot my shells. And Adri doesn't have to see them anymore in my garage, and I'm not going to move them.
Wow.
They're a liability.
I didn't know I was on a podcast with a bunch of rednecks.
What?
Wow.
Well, in high school,
It's an Olympic
like
sport, Clay. Okay.
Whatever.
me and my buddies in high school, we just used to get those little like plastic clay pigeon slingers, and we'd drive out to the mountain and hook up a little clay pigeon. Someone throw it in the air. It was a lot of fun.
Lower Wetumpka Gun Club. If you want to sponsor the podcast, hit us up on Instagram. Or Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, if you want to just pay for our milkshakes, that works too.
Yeah.
So
I'll take a free milkshake any day.
that's right. Clay, hit me. What have you been doing outside of board gaming?
Oh, big week this week. So I took the PMP exam on Wednesday.
Did you really?
Yes, and passed it with almost flying colors. But
You didn't even study.
I did study. I studied a lot, and that was the hardest test I've ever taken. It was just
I've heard that.
It was just question after. I swear to you, if I took 180 of those questions and you told me I didn't get any of them right, I would have been like, that makes sense. But it was just 180 scenario questions where it's like, so you're a project manager for an IT firm and some key stakeholders want to change the requirements. And then it's like 5 answers that all could be right. And that's 180 questions of just trying to get in these scenarios and figure out what the right answer was. And it was brutal, but I passed. I'm done with it. Pretty excited about that because that was stressing me out. So that's a
congratulations
at the end of your name.
I probably won't, but in other news, more fun news, I went to see the Book of Mormon for our anniversary last night up in Denver.
What?
And Jared, feel free. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know how much you wanted to get into your Mormon background here, but but I have a lot of questions.
Maybe we can do it after Over the Fence. That's
Okay.
That's for special ops Patreon.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. If you want to hear Jared talk about, join us on Patreon.
Yeah, we're gonna get down and dirty into Jared's background on Patreon. But anyway, Book of Mormon, it's made by the South Park guys, and it is hilarious. It's entertaining, thought-provoking, and I just enjoyed it so much. I mean, we were up in the nosebleeds of the Buell Theater in Denver, but it was still awesome. And they're coming to Pennsylvania in September, and
You want to go again?
I'm going again. I've
Oh,
already
you
got
already
tickets
know.
lined up. Yeah, it was that
Oh,
good.
wow.
I want to see it again. I'm going to get up close and personal this time. I want to
Okay.
feel the spit come off their mouths as they're singing. It it's a good time. I definitely pokes a lot of fun at religion in general. So
Yeah.
if that's a sore subject for you, it is not a documentary about Mormonism. It is certainly a comedy. So
It is well informed, though. I mean, I think
yeah,
a lot of those South Park dudes were former Mormons, and
yeah.
but yeah, it's not gospel doctrine by any means. But yeah, I've heard some pretty vulgar things about what what kind of things happened in that show.
It's crazy, man. Are you interested in seeing it, or are you just is it too
I
close
don't
to?
know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I thought you guys had seen it.
Patreon. Save it for the Patreon.
Okay, I'll save it for
But
the Patreon.
I am always tempted, like every time shows are available, I've always been tempted to go see it, and I never have.
You
But
should.
were you ever like a South Park guy? Like, did you ever watch that show?
No, I mean I've seen episodes, but it wasn't like a show I watched religiously.
Yeah, I was just wondering
that's
like how close the comedic level / tone
I've
was.
heard that it's like South Park, and then they ramp it up a little
Oh my
bit
God.
more past ramp. Yeah,
Oh no,
because
I would say it's a little more highbrow than South Park. Okay, the second act gets a little bit
there's okay.
off the rails.
Just because you're sitting in a theater doesn't mean it's highbrow.
It's highbrow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. I'm interested in seeing it.
Yeah, it's great. So that's my over the fence. Travis, you've been obviously over the fence for quite some time.
Other
So
than the
then-
fjords, what's going on?
I've been AWOL for a while. I know.
Yeah.
If you have the means, I highly recommend going to the Norwegian fjords. They are beautiful. They're like, we sailed this gigantic ship through these like rivers basically, and it's cliff spaces on either side, tons of waterfalls. Not a ton of wildlife, but like little fishing villages or like herding villages and stuff along the fjords. Beautiful. Highly recommend. Crazy expensive, unbelievably expensive once you get there. Norway is so expensive.
Yeah.
So if you have the means, go ahead and check that out. But other than that, we've been getting ready to move. I've been reading a book about board games because I missed you guys so much.
Hey,
nice.
It's called Your Move and what board games can teach us about life and society and stuff. And let me get my phone out. I need to like say the actual title because I feel bad if I don't.
I'm gonna look it up on Libby.
Stand by.
I've been listening to 1 Minute to Midnight about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get into history, Adri said that people my age get into history, taking care of their lawn, or smoking meats, and
Yep.
I got the trifecta, so I think I'm set.
Okay.
What's the book?
It is called Your Move. What board games teach us about life? And it is written by two people that work in like a board game cafe, and they have differing kind of tastes and experiences. And one of them is like a board game concierge and like will make recommendations to people that come into the cafe based on what they've played before, kind of like the segue person that can help them get onboarded into the world of board gaming and like open their apertures a little bit. The other person has studied more history and politics and stuff and gets deep into like the transactions between people while they're playing Monopoly and what that means on a larger scale and what it can tell us about society as a whole. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty easy read. You can cruise through it. Yeah, been enjoying that one.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, tons of books and movies and podcasts and stuff, but I'm not gonna belabor that too much because It's my first day back. We got to ease back into this a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of overwhelmed by you right now.
Wow. I'm overwhelmed by those guns that you have out.
I mean, have you
Whoa,
ever
yeah.
seen some floppers like this before?
Hey, we need to freaking coordinate our outfits soon. You know?
Yeah,
Get
we
some-
should
Maybe
do
that's
get
part
some-
of post June.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's all get
That-
some.
Is that a little spoiler for next week?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Listener, if you are tuning in, tune in next week. Listen again next week. Watch on YouTube because we have a Frago coming down the pipe and things are about to change a little bit for OGN. So more to come. We'll talk about it next week. But hopefully it's something that will help you enjoy our podcast throughout the week instead of maybe just one day when you sit in your car at lunch for an hour and a half and listen to us ramble about board games. So more to
Yeah.
come. But we did it. Over the hill. Over the hill,
Over
guys.
the hill.
Congratulations. 40
Wow.
episodes under our belts. More to come. I can't wait to do this in 40 years when we can celebrate our actual 40-year anniversary. And we're in the old folks' home talking about board games. We're in our 70s and we are like decrepit and all of our listeners have died off and it's just us.
Whoa! You can still live in a normal house at 70, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Oh,
Not at this
Maybe-
rate.
not
maybe-
us.
All right.
No.
On
Oh,
that
no.
sobering note, I have been Travis. He has been Jared. He has been Clay. And we're out.